2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay. We need a photo from behind so we can see what our little studio looks like. Hey crew, how are you? Welcome to our Monday night episode 5. Wow. I think this is the most nervous one I've felt so far is episode 5. Welcome to our call tonight, or our Facebook Live, our live broadcast. And obviously that's with you and with me. And we're coming to you to talk about some really sensitive topics and to deliver the real hard truth about all of these things. So thank you so much for hopping on. Thank you for being part of our evening. We've come to you a little bit earlier tonight because we have another business event that we have to attend. We don't have to do anything, but that we're attending on the Gold Coast tonight. So rather than not show up for that, we thought we'd put this back. And I said to Jace, what if we don't have viewers at 6 o'clock or 6:30 in the evening? He goes, doesn't matter. They can watch it later.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there'll be always someone on somewhere.
Absolutely. So thank you so much again for being on, wherever you might be coming in from around the world. And if you ever have any topics or any things that you would like Jason and I to talk about, send us a private message. Or if it's not too private and you're happy for other people to see it, then please drop it into the comments below and we will endeavour to get back to you and talk to you on the subject. And obviously we won't mention any names at all. We would just be super grateful for any information that you would like some feedback on when it comes to mental health, business, and health and wellness.
Hey, Derek.
Hey,
all the way from New Zealand.
Okay, guys. So thank you so much. We will get stuck into tonight. So I've got a few notes here. So the heading that I put up for tonight was about lipstick and it being all over my face during the week. So literally my lipstick was not all over my face for the whole week. But on Saturday, my husband, what did you say to me? What was your words?
Oh, I can't remember, but I just noticed that your lipstick was out of the lines. It's like, when a young child is colouring in a picture.
Oh, thanks.
And they go out just outside the line a little bit.
Oh, my. Anyway, so I took it as a bit of a pinch or a pinch of salt. Is that what you say? Is it a pinch of salt or a pinch of... Anyway, let me know, probably in the comments. And I just took it as a pinch of whatever, pinch of pepper, pinch of salt. And I was like, oh, that's a bit odd that he said that. And on Saturday, it was so hot and I trained early in the morning, jumped in the shower and had to be out for an appointment. And Jace come and picked me up and I had put my makeup on, or kind of tried to, but I was so sweating that it wasn't sort of staying on anyway. So I put my lipstick on and I felt like I did run my fingers out a little bit too much out of the line, but I thought, how bad can it be? Anyway, so we're at this event doing our thing. I was chatting to people and Jace mentions this to me and then I was like, oh, it can't be that bad. Okay, so my lips might look a bit bigger. And every girl, who doesn't want bigger lips, right? I mean, people pay money to have bigger lips. So I was like, well, I don't have to pay for it because I've got bigger lips now that I've, put my lipstick on the outside. And I got home and I walked past our mirror in the entranceway and I looked at myself and I was like, Jason, why didn't you tell me how much my lipstick was out of my lips? And he goes, I tried to tell you. I said, but you didn't really try to tell me.
Well, I just didn't want to get into trouble.
In the future, I've said to Jace, because it's funny, because the guy, does your man pick up if you have your hair done or you have makeup on your face or you've done your makeup? Does he go, oh, you don't like that, or how does your man react to you? And so Jace kind of he notices, but he doesn't really say too much. And so he didn't really say too much about my lipstick. So I thought, oh, you must be just whatever. Anyway, so it was out of my lips and it was super embarrassing and they were bigger than they should have been. And in future, if your husband does say something to you, then just maybe slip into a bathroom and listen to what he has to say.
But it does happen the other way too sometimes when I've gotten dressed and I've walked out the door and then Kyla's gone, what tie have you got on? And I've gone, well, you were looking at me putting my tie on, but you didn't say anything. So I think sometimes we tend to get too busy doing what we're doing or getting focused on where we're heading to that we forget to actually check
Yeah.
each other out
Totally.
and make sure that we are in, what's the word?
I don't know. What was that word?
Make sure that we walk out.
Yeah, we can check each other out.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing is too, so the issue that led to that was when I took the photo, and it's exactly that photo, and it probably doesn't even show up in that photo, but I actually hate and loathe that photo. And so I was just going to talk to you a little bit about, people have got such a fear of being public and, taking photos of, ourselves. And I can't tell you how much of a fear and how much I hate photos, believe it or not. I know you won't believe that, but tell me you believe me if you do see anything that Jason and I post up. You believe me that I hate taking photos. I really do. But what I do is I get past myself and just go, get over yourself, Kyla. Like, I have a stiff talk to myself regularly.
Not a stiff drink?
Not a stiff drink. Well, if I've had a stiff drink, then I don't care what photos look like, really. But it's after that I go, oh, that didn't look too good. But I have a stiff talk or a stern talk to myself. And I'm like, if whatever you do helps somebody else, and people, like, this is what I said to somebody one day, because they said, oh, I really don't like photos of myself. And I said, but people see you day in and day out, and you're frightened of them to see a photo of you. Do you think they're really going to think that you look any different when they see you in a photo? Because sometimes you look really bad in real life anyway, and sometimes you look a little bit better. So it doesn't matter. Sometimes the photo looks really bad, and sometimes it might just, pass with the push. So it's like, no, like, oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. So I'm like, people already know what you look like. So, hey, Cheryl, how you going? Hey, Kate, nice to have you on. Hey, Brookie, baby. Talking about you today, we were. Okay, so the next thing I was going to talk about that. So that led me into the photo side of it. And, like really thinking about our, self-esteem and our subconscious and what's going on there, which is always, like a challenge and how to get past things. So that photo, had to talk to myself, said to Jace, I hate it. He goes, get over yourself as well. And up it went. So, that's just the way that it has to go. And so hopefully you guys can see the funny side of that. So that's why I thought that's why I had lipstick all over my face this week. So another topic for the week. I've had a few people actually ask me what is my background. They said, you haven't really talked about what your backgrounds are yet. And I was like, okay. So we're going to talk, give you a bit of a rundown on who we are and what we do and, why I'm so passionate about health and fitness, and also about, you all know by now that if you're hopping on, that it's, a mental illness or depression that I do live with. You can tell I found it really hard to just spit out and talk about then. And so I think maybe I might touch on that first. But before I do that, Jace, do you want to say who you are and what you do? What your background is?
Yeah, so my background, I'm a high school dropout to start with. So I left school when I was 15 and basically just went to work with my father as a house painter. And to this day, I still run a house painting business, and which has been running for the last 45 years. So it's a very successful family business. And and also we run a network marketing business.
Okay, cool. So
I'm learning to become a professional network marketer in saying that. So that's my career change, I guess, but I still love painting.
And one question. So you give me more encouragement to keep going in that industry. Mm-hmm. Why is it that you choose that to be like your more dominant business, even though our main money, or it's not that our main money comes from painting, but you do that, but you still pursue this as it being our long-term main income source of income? Well,
the reason being is, as we know, network marketing has changed and come a long way over the last 20 years, and the business model itself and the what's the word I'm looking for, the network marketing itself has cleaned itself up. So the industry, that's the word, the industry itself is a lot better. And also the fundamentals of businesses is the same, and actually is a better way to earn an income or an extra stream of income. So I don't have to actually stop painting altogether. I can keep that business going forever, or I can decide to take network marketing as full time. So I love doing that.
Okay. Great. Awesome.
Hopefully that made sense.
Yep, that was great. Thank you so much. And do you want to ask me what my background is?
Oh, yeah. What's your background, Kyla?
Okay. Thanks, Jace. So my background is I was a high school dropout too. We never said that before. I was a high school dropout, and it wasn't that I wanted to drop out. It was because I was always so sick going through school. So at the age of 11, I was, what would I say? At the age of about 11 years of age, I had a really bad accident, and I'll talk to you about that another time, but I had an accident, and then not long after that, I got a really bad flu. So I got an influenza flu, and which knocked me clean off my feet. I'd have to ask mum and dad for how long, but I know that I was very, very sick. And then just not long after that, I was diagnosed with depression or childhood depression. They thought I'd had a nervous breakdown at the age of 11, and it was all kind of like, I wouldn't say crazy, but I just couldn't stop crying, and I, didn't want to leave my bedroom, and that was at that young age. So that was pretty full on. So that was like 30 years ago. And 30 years ago, even now, people don't really know how to cope with childhood depression. Like, it's talked about a lot more, but it's really something that as a parent, I don't know whether, no one wants to embark down that journey, but how do you handle, or what do you do when a child is sick with a mental illness? If they break their arm, or they, need stitches or whatever, or you just take them down to hospital and you get them stitched up, or you get a plaster put on their arm. But when it is something to do with a mental illness, and that can be brought off, Jason and I were just talking about that today. Mental illnesses can be brought on by so many different things. It can be abuse, whether it be physical, mental, or what? Physical or mental abuse. And, that may not necessarily show up when you're younger, that it comes out fully, but it might show up years and years down the track. I was talking to someone, and they were talking about, someone being in their 40s, and, that abuse that had happened as a child had now started to rear its ugly head due to her having, thought, like smells and different things that had contributed to her bringing back things that had happened in the past, which, that's just pretty full on, isn't it? So full on for anybody. It can be brought on by drugs and alcohol. It can be brought on by like a chemical imbalance. So it can be, in your family. It can be like you always talk about depression as being something that is hereditary. So, if you've got
life too,
totally,
pressures of life. Could be going through a bad business deal that's really put the family into a situation. A lot of men suffer from depression when it comes to that. Definitely been in the news of late.
Well, that was that on 60 Minutes last night. They were talking, it was 60 Minutes last night, Sunday night. And, they were talking about, bad business dealings, and how one of the guy's friends had committed suicide because he owed so much money. And, it's just, a fact of life that people are touched by a mental illness more than what we ever want to talk about. And another couple of interesting conversations I've had this week, and it's only Monday, or over like Friday, heading over the weekend and today, is that, we don't want to come on here for any, sympathy. I mean, it's so beautiful that we get comments and we get really lovely feedback, but we're not here to talk about depression and get it off my chest. I've lived with this for 30 years, and, I've done a lot of talking to Jason. I've talked to, psychiatrists and psychologists, and not that I found that of huge benefit to me, not to say that that's not if you get someone that's amazing, but and if you know someone who's amazing, then pop that in the comments, help somebody out by someone who you might see. If you've got someone who's free, I know that the Australian government will provide 5 free consultations to someone in the health industry that's covered by Medicare. So whether it's a psychologist, psychiatrist, like physiotherapist, different people. So the discussion was getting on and talking about. Sorry, you go.
No, you're just saying why we get on is that we want to hopefully help someone else, or make it aware that you can that there is help, but also you can cope with it. You don't have to bottle it up inside, or think no one. Don't be ashamed of it, I guess. That's what it is.
So true. And that, we know, guys, it is not the coolest handbag in the world to have. I always say it's not my Louis Vuitton that I, want or want to purchase it, thousands of dollars. Jace. It's not a cool handbag to have, but we need to be able to be more open about it and know that there's, women and men and children that are going through this and don't know how to talk about it. And
there's no age differentiation. Like it's everyone these days, because where we live in and how society portrays and we see things, especially on social media.
Yeah.
Even though we're on social media right now, it's such a two-pronged sword.
I think it's such a shame, like when you look at people that have got a mental illness, like I always find it hard to use those words because, there's so much, baggage that comes around those words and embarrassment. I'm not like that person. Don't put me in that category. We see a lot of people that have got mental illnesses that live on the streets, that don't cope with life and are in and out of hospitals. Like no one wants to have that attachment to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But again, there's different levels and different degrees of depression. And, like there's bipolar or manic depression, there's depression, anxiety, all different types of mental illnesses. And, we should be okay to talk about it, and we should be okay to be or feel safe that we can discuss that and not be judged on that. So, and I'm sure our beautiful audience is not going to judge Jace or myself on that. So that's why we come to you. So it's not to make myself feel better about what I go through. It's here. We're here to help somebody in our like social media, network, and help you to be able to see, like Jay said, that you can live with it and you can do amazing things in your life, and you can change, the cycle of, all of the bad things that do happen because of having mental illness. Like I always say to Jace, that really bad cycle of, heavy duty medication, bad food, no sleep, sleeping all day, watching TV because you haven't slept well, not having a job because you can't hold one down because you're so ill. Like there's just all of this stuff, and I'm only summarizing. Like I miss out lots of points when we talk on this, so please forgive me if I don't put it into like the correct terminology. I don't mean offense to anything that I do say, but I'm just skimming over the surface because obviously we'd be here all night. But again, like there's so many aspects to it that people can't literally get themselves out of, and we're here to show you that that there is a possibility and that there is life after being diagnosed with that. I was just, I won't say that. Yeah. Hey guys, hey Beck, how you going? Nice to have you on. Brookie, what did you just say? Recommend tranquility counselling if you need a strong, kind heart to listen to and a guide. Thanks, Brooke. You're absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much. Hey Matt, hey Stace, nice to have you guys on. Okay, so
and what else? You haven't finished it. What else? So when you realise, you had depression and that, and then as our married life went on, what did you start getting involved in? Because you started realizing I need to sort things out. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So back to my background. I always get sidetracked. Okay. So she
loves to talk. If you haven't noticed.
Yeah. I was diagnosed at the age of 11, and I don't say that with a massive smile on my face. Yeah. But you've just got to keep moving. Okay. And then I struggled all through school and didn't really get any. I mean, I finished my grade 10 certificate. And then I left school, and then I actually was on a disability support pension for many years after that because I couldn't hold down a job. I did do jobs and I loved working, but it just didn't seem to work. I then, what did I do next? I become a nail technician. So I did my nail course. I had a really lovely little business that I was running, and what did I do then? And then I was like, I got a bit itchy feet and I want to keep learning. And then my brother had a very serious accident. And What before that?
You went into the weight loss industry.
No, that was after. Wasn't it? Okay. And then I went into the weight loss industry, and that was where I started to talk and do public speaking. And I was just saying to one of the girls today, I said, I remember my first trip down to Byron Bay to teach and coach a group of amazing women on how to lose weight successfully. And that was like, I was just absolutely petrified. My heart was literally in my mouth. My mum held my hand just about all through the talk that I was presenting in front of these women. And that was something I thought, I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm not going to be able to continue. I'm just not good enough. there's no way that I can continue teaching people and standing up in front of large groups of people and like being able to do this. So 10 years later, I was still with the company and decided that I wanted to branch out a bit more, and I wanted to coach and educate people more to do with like food and what the foods they were consuming and the effect of like artificial sweeteners and diet products and skim this and diet that was having an effect on people that had mental illnesses. And that was my passion, was to do that. So that was what I did. And I love the company I work for, but it was just time to sort of keep moving. And then I also did my personal training course, become a personal trainer, started to run boot camps, absolutely love that. But just, still wasn't like, totally where I was at. And then I did my Les Mills RPM course. I wanted to teach people how to ride a bike fast and motivate and encourage them. And I knew how important exercise was to also mental illness. Have I done it over the years consistently? No, because I've been sick off and on, and I've just kind of got to go with the flows of that. So that's a bit about my background. So yeah, we are definitely in the food and nutrition industry, and also the exercise industry too. So we'll talk about that to you in the coming, months as well, weeks. So is that it?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much for bringing me back to that. Okay. So what's happened to you this week? Like anything else, like in terms of like health, exercise? You started your Monday off awesome again?
Yeah, just getting straight back into the routine again. I guess over the weekend on the Sunday, I was absolutely tired after our little flea market or car boot episode on Sunday, which took it out of me. And but Monday started off well, straight back in the gym. So yeah.
Yep. So flea market, so bed early Saturday night, and Saturday night to bed early and up at 4:00 in the morning. And I think we made about $400. That was all right. It's $400 in my pocket. I get to go and spend more on whatever it might be that I need or goes towards a trip, whatever. Great way to make a little bit of extra money if you have some bits and pieces lying around. It's always cool. I like it. Jace is not a huge lover of it, but it's a bit of fun. And it's so funny because Jace chucked a couple of things in the bin and I pulled them back out again. I'm like, they're going to sell at the markets.
Well,
he goes,
no, it's got a crack
and then he put it back in
it.
the bin and I pulled it back out. And I'm sure enough, it was one of the first things to go. So that was pretty cool as well. So anyway, all right. So moving on. So over the last week, I have been following our 30 Days to Healthy Living program. And what that means is I've cut out gluten, I've cut out dairy, and I've cut out alcohol. So it's been 9 days since I've had anything to drink. And it's like, not really. Probably the weekend is the most challenging. But I have absolutely felt like I've turned a corner, and I'm waiting for that corner to come back around and go, okay, I'm tired again. But at the moment, I'm just going with it. I definitely I'm not dragging my feet this week. I, feel really, really good. I feel like the cloud or the fog in my head has, lifted, a percentage. And that I've been sleeping heaps better. I've got more energy to train at the gym. One of the guys said to me, he goes, man, you went hard this morning, didn't you? And I was like, thank you. Yeah, I did. But I didn't say that to him. And I feel just heaps clearer in my mind. So that has been super important to me. I don't always do the program with all the crew that I take through. Otherwise, I'll be doing it 12 months out of the year. But I have done it this time, and I try to do it 3 or 4 times out of the year. And one of your great friends, Jace, has been doing the program. I was like, right, I'm going to go in with her and do this. And, I'm so thankful to her for doing it. And it's definitely helped me and encouraged me along the way. So, we're 8 days in and it's, super cool. So, yeah. So what we've got is, this helps us to focus more on the body, and also it helps us to, be able to, focus on our minds and, takes out some of the foods that are allergens in our system and really helps you to go, okay, yep, I really feel a difference. It's not to say that we can't not have it ever, but it really just gives us a reboot and, gets you off that path or that cycle that you might have been on that you just sort of weren't sure. And I guess with you and I, Jace, like our main focus in, what we're doing with our lives as well is to really help people to, focus on more of a simple way of life rather than be bombarded by points and calories and macros and, all of that stuff. We really want to strip it back and go back to something that's so simple and basic, because this world is just so fast paced and it's hardcore to stay motivated and geared up in this world. It's like, okay, how do I do that? And when you have a mental illness on top of that, it's like 10 times more challenging. So yeah,
definitely. I mean, we tend to be rushing everywhere we go. We need to try and pull back a little bit, but it's hard. Life is hard.
Yeah, definitely. And the other thing I want to say is that, food wise, I've actually removed tomatoes out of my diet. So tomatoes, a few extra things, but especially tomatoes and kidney beans. And the reason I've done that is because I wanted to reduce some of the inflammation in my body. So I have chronic pain in my body, and what I've realized is that we can be really food sensitive to what we put into our mouth. And Jace can have tomatoes by the truckload, and it doesn't affect him. I can have tomatoes a small amount, and I can be affected by that. So really, really important to have a look at the ingredients that are in our foods. And one of the main ingredients in tomatoes, kidney beans, eggplants, they call them the nightshade foods, is an ingredient or a molecule called lectin, and that can really play havoc on some people's systems. So super interesting, but we'll talk about that later on in the future as well. So I've got 3 tips for you tonight. And it's just business tips. So we're going to move on to that. So we've talked about health. We've talked about, food, exercise, get out there and, definitely do something that, you find inspiring and motivating and that helps you feel better during the day.
And we also always say fitness or health of some sort. And that doesn't mean you have to go and be an athlete.
No.
It's just about getting out and getting moving, because this does help start your day off, the week off. And then this helps you then be able to put that into your family life and your business life.
Yeah, totally. And I think it's super important when you say that, because, exercise, again, is so different for everybody and how you perform. Again, it means that you've got to not compare yourself to other people and just do your own thing. So our 3 business tips. So if anyone's watching that does, a business or that is in a network marketing business, one of the things that I'd like to mention is connecting with, having a mentor, like someone that you go, wow, they're doing this and I'd love to know how they do it, or someone who can, help you, get on the straight and narrow, or help you to, get to places where you want to be. So that is, a mentor. I find it, as I've learned, and we've been in this industry for the last 4.5 years, is that, we talk about investing money into properties and shares and, trying to build our bank balance that way so that we've got something to fall back on if anything happens, or that we've got something for, longevity. But we forget to, invest in the most important thing, and that is ourselves. Personally investing in ourselves so that we can, grow and be better individuals. So we've got a great book that we'd love to recommend. So if you're in business, one of the ones would be GoPro, and that's a free book, so you can get that. Go online, Eric Worre, and I'm not sure, I think it's about $7 for it to be sent to your front door. But the book, he'll deliver that for free. He'll give you that for free, which I think is amazing. The second book is The Compound Effect, and this is something that will change your life. Like doing something a little bit every day. I've just started a brand new course. I'm like, oh my goodness, what am I doing? But a brand new course, and it's something that I would like to pursue, and it's something that's probably going to take about 12 more months. I want to be there now. I don't want to do the in-between. But that compound effect, doing something every day, is going to get me the results that I want to do at the end. So, same with business. Do a little bit each day. It'll get you to the results that you want to get to in the end, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Do a little bit of exercise. It'll get you to the end result at the end of the day. Change your food. It'll get you to the end result at the end of the day. So there's heaps of things. Yeah.
I was just going to say, because sometimes there's a little saying that Jim Rohn says. He says, don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. Because sometimes when we're doing something, we feel, I wish it was a little bit easier. But you wouldn't get the benefit from it. I think this morning when I went to gym, I'm doing this 8-week challenge of abs, trying to get my abs happening. It's going to take longer than 8 weeks, that's for sure. But each little video that shows you how to do an exercise, I look down and go, man, isn't there an easier way of doing this? But if it was easier, then you wouldn't appreciate it more.
Yeah.
So it's about making ourselves better,
Yeah.
and taking the challenge on and going for it.
I love that, because when you first said that to me, don't wish it was easier. We all want it to be easier, but yeah, you're so right. Like, we just need to be better at what we're doing. And that comes down to learning, like making skills, doesn't it? So when it comes to your dreams and when it comes to your success, it's not about your talents and skills or money or your connections. When you go after what it is you want and come up against overwhelm, doubt, a roadblock or rejection, or just simply a no, refuse to take no as a reason or an answer to what it is that you want to achieve in your life. No is just not an answer. It's not a good enough answer. A no is a detour, or it's just stop there for a sec, but don't not stop forever. Keep going. No is not a reason for you to stop. It is a reason for you to pursue it even more. Obviously, unless it's like a life and death situation, that's, different, but then there's always ways around that as well. So I always take no. Whenever my dad used to say no to me, I know he won't watch this because he doesn't have Facebook. And if anyone knows him and you tell him, that's fine with me. And he knows that I am that person. If he said no to me, it would mean green light, go, go, go. And everything that I've done in my life that has been a no from my dad has been, something that's worked out, amazing. So,
and I'm one of them, aren't I?
You're one of them. So Jason was a no.
He did say no, not to marry me.
Yeah. So I think, and the reason I say that is not to disrespect my dad, but because my dad was always saw, all of the problems that might arise, no would always seem to be the simplest thing that he would say to make, us think that was safe. And so I've learnt that no doesn't mean that that's where you need to be to stay safe, to grow and to be better and to get to know and understand yourself, to live with depression, to do your exercise, to do business, to do all these things. You've got to get past the no's, because if I listened to my mind every morning when it said no, it doesn't want to get out of bed, my life wouldn't exist. So guys, thank you so much.
I was just going to say before you go, sometimes we tend to worry about the things that we don't need to worry about and don't worry about the things that we should worry about.
Yeah.
So on that saying, when someone says no, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But worry about the things that do need to be worried about.
Yes, absolutely.
Like our health.
Absolutely. So on that note, we are out the door this evening. Thank you so much for being on our live. We are still learning massively. We've got a long, long way to go, and we totally understand that. It is super exciting. I was going to say super nerve-wracking, but super exciting because we use those words rather than being nervous. And we just want to thank you again for being a part of our world. And we know that what we talk about will not be applicable to everybody, and we won't vibe with everybody. We understand that. We wish we would. We wish we'd have the whole world. I'm just greedy in that way. But, we know that we're going to build up our tribe of people one person at a time. And if there's anything that you need help or support with when it comes to either business or whether it comes to health and wellness, or you just need someone to talk to, please know I'm not here, or Jace isn't here to discuss our life so that we feel better. It's to discuss our life so that we can help you feel better, so that we can help you to do what it is that you want to achieve in your life. And again, that's why.
Plus, it does help us be better.
Leaders and coaches,
So it makes us step out of our comfort zone.
Totally.
That's for sure.
Yeah. And this is something that we've always been passionate about. I mean, I've coached and mentored people for the last 15 years of my life. It's something that I absolutely love. So, we're very passionate about that. And, some days will be good days. Some days won't be such good days. And that's okay. And you guys will get used to me as we continue on. So you'll get so used to me that you'll know if she's in a bit of a flat spell or that she's, doing okay. I'm doing okay today, guys. So thank you so much for your encouragement. Thank you for being so kind to us. Thank you, my beautiful friend Renee, for being on. I've just seen your name pop up, and we will talk to you all very soon. Thanks again, and we will check out all of our platforms. Thanks, guys. Bye.